So a lot has happened at the T20 World Cup since I last recorded. India, of course, have been blown away by New Zealand by 8 wickets, contrary to many opinions, including mine, which has severely dented their chances to go into the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup. Afghanistan, of course, were clinical and they brushed aside Namibia by 62 runs, and England won their 4th game on the bounce as they beat Sri Lanka by 26 runs. And I'll be covering all 3 of those games on this volume of CRIQAZI Diaries.
Have a look at that, smiles up, oh, it's nearly taken someone out of the stands. That was a flat 6 right under the stand there, the George Giffen stand, up into the members, and it went like a rocket. Well, no wicket for 24.
So really astonishing performance by India, given that their players had just played the IPL, which concluded right before the T20 World Cup started. And given that fact, honestly, this performance is absolutely unacceptable and it's just not justifiable, and there are no excuses. The simple fact that India only managed 110 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their 20 overs, with Ravindra Jadeja top scoring with only 26 runs off 19 deliveries, that tells a story on its own. And this is after Adam Milne dropped Rohit Sharma for a duck. So really, things could have been much worse. लग तो मुझे ये रहा है कि इंडिया प्रेस द पैनिक बटन आफ्टर दैट डिफीट टू पाकिस्तान, क्योंकि आप उनकी चेंजेस देखें. ईशान किशन केम टू ओपन द इनिंग्स अलोंग विद केएल राहुल एंड यू डिमोटिंग रोहित शर्मा टू नंबर 3, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट ओपनर्स इन द वर्ल्ड अक्रॉस फॉर्मेट्स. शायद ये रोहित शर्मा को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए किया बिकॉज दे डिडंट वांट हिम टू फॉल टू ट्रेंट बोल्ट मच लाइक शर्मा फेल टू शाहीन अफरीदी. बट अगेन, इफ दैट वाज द लॉजिक, आई थिंक दैट इज एन एक्सट्रीमली कावर्डली मूव. And then Kohli also dropping to 4. मतलब कोहली की पूरी जिंदगी में उसके सारे रन आए हैं टॉप 3 के अंदर T20 क्रिकेट में. He opens for RCB. He was opening for India not too long ago, and now this performance, 9 runs of 17 deliveries, नंबर 4 पे आकर अपने आप को डिमोट कर बिल्कुल भी टैक्टिक्स की समझ नहीं आई मुझे. In addition to these tactics, I don't understand why Ravichandran Ashwin has been warming the bench since the England tour. Test matches में उनको chance नहीं मिला, अब T20 World Cup में भी वो squad में select हुए, उनको chance नहीं मिला. And when you have a quality off spinner like Ravichandran Ashwin in your team, who has so much experience under his belt, surely he starts ahead of newcomer Varun Chakravarti, who has literally just made his entry into international cricket. And I would even make a case for Ashwin starting ahead of Ravindra Jadeja, because Jadeja might provide you some cushion with the bat, but Ashwin is definitely more attacking option with the ball. Selection पे भी थोड़ी बात कर लेते हैं. मैं कई दफा कह चुका हूं और फिर से मैं बोलूंगा, I don't understand why Yuzvendra Chahal was not selected in the squad. मेरे हिसाब से राशिद खान के बाद अगर पिछले 4-5 साल में आप देख लें T20 क्रिकेट में, he was the best leg spinner after Rashid, of course, and then Shikhar Dhawan. ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा embarrassment of riches है आपके पास बैटिंग टैलेंट में, but then Dhawan is a player who has done so well in ICC events and he could have easily slotted into the top order. तो उसकी भी सिलेक्शन मेरे ख्याल से हो जानी चाहिए थी. And then lastly, Deepak Chahar is in India's reserves. This is one of the most successful bowlers in the IPL. Dot ball percentage inki bahut high hai. He's done well for India too in the past in T20 internationals. So I think they got the selection horribly wrong. उसके बाद कर लेते हैं बात इंडिया की बॉडी लैंग्वेज की. नाउ इन बोथ ऑफ द गेम्स दैट वी हैव सीन देम इन दस फार इन दिस T20 वर्ल्ड कप, बॉडी लैंग्वेज बिल्कुल जीरो रही है इंडिया की. आज भी टॉस हारने के बाद ही नजर आ गया था कि दे आर नॉट एंजॉयिंग देमसेल्व्स और ये टेंशन में आ गए हैं. एंड आई सिंपली जस्ट डोंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई वी हैव सीन दिस ड्रॉप इन intensity from India. Virat Kohli rightly pointed that out in his post-match press conference as well, that India simply were not brave enough. And the fact that they did not score a boundary for 71 deliveries after the power play, that really is a testament to the fact that India just simply didn't take enough chances. Now, I've seen bubble fatigue being cited as one of the reasons behind India's poor showing. And while that may even have merit, the manner in which India has been defeated in both of their games, it suggests otherwise. Seems to me that India has really buckled under pressure over here. पाकिस्तान से पहला मैच हारने के बाद जब ये वाला मैच उनके लिए डू और डाई हो गया, मेरे ख्याल से बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर ले लिया उन्होंने अपने ऊपर. फिर टॉस हारने के बाद वो और डीमोटिवेट हो गए. आई थिंक द आर्ग्यूमेंट दैट प्लेइंग द IPL prepares you for international cricket is actually disproven. ठीक है, बायलैटरल सीरीज में दैट्स अ वेरी वैलिड आर्ग्यूमेंट, मगर जो प्रेशर आपको अपने मुल्क के लिए महसूस होता है प्लेइंग एट अ वर्ल्ड इवेंट, स्पेशली अ वर्ल्ड कप, उसको आप कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते CSK वर्सेस KKR से. इट्स सिंपली नॉट कंपेरेबल. खैर, बात कर लेते हैं न्यूजीलैंड की बॉलिंग परफॉर्मेंस की. अमेजिंग विद द बॉल, अमेजिंग इन द फील्ड एज वेल, माइनस दैट ड्रॉप कैच ऑफ कोर्स. Ish Sodhi was the man of the match, and rightly so. He only gave away 17 runs in his 4 overs and took 2 very, very key wickets. The biggest fish in Indian cricket, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Trent Boult was also really, really impressive. He took 3 wickets for 20 runs in his 4 overs. He said he wanted to emulate Shaheen Afridi, and he has, because Shaheen and Trent both took 3 wickets versus India, playing a pivotal role in their side's win. Support staff bhi acha tha. Tim Southee bowled pretty well, 4 overs, 1 for 26 for him. And Mitchell Santner, I've been a big fan of Mitchell Santner ever since he came into the international fray. Or batting bhi kar lete hain aur shandar bowling ki inne. Didn't pick up a wicket, but only gave away 15 runs in his 4 overs. India ki jo bowling hai, it's been extremely off color in this tournament as well. Bumrah ne ली 2 wickets और उसने fight भी दिखाई, even though बहुत हल्का total था, extremely low total to defend, कोई chance तो था नहीं, but he still took 2 wickets for 19 runs, and his 2 wickets are the only 2 wickets that India has managed to take in this entire T20 World Cup. And just to put that into context, an out of form Hassan Ali has 3 wickets, which is more than all of India's team in this T20 World Cup. To put things into context even more regarding how poor India has been in this T20 World Cup, Asif Ali has scored 7 sixes for Pakistan in 19 deliveries. India have played 240 deliveries and have only scored 6 sixes. Now, India will definitely require some introspection. एक तरह से अच्छी चीज है कि Virat Kohli is retiring as T20 international captain because this will give them a fresh start. और Ravi Shastri का भी end है tenure का as head coach of India. And I really thought they would put up a better showing just to give tribute to both Kohli and Shastri, who've seen a lot of success as India captain and coach. मतलब कोई intent ही नहीं दिखी यार आपको, कोई उनने कोशिश ही नहीं की तेज रन स्कोर करने की. I don't know if it was a fear of failure, किस किस्म के प्रेशर में आ गए थे बैट्समैन, बट उनकी अप्रोच नहीं समझ आई मुझे. Like what were they waiting for? किस चीज का वेट कर रहे थे जो उन्हें मारना शुरू करना था? इससे यही साबित होता है कि you can play domestic competitions all you want, but when it comes to the big league, World Cup competition, representing your country, it's a completely different animal. Now, to stay alive in this T20 World Cup, of course, India do have an outside chance of making the semi-finals. Firstly, they'll have to win all of their 3 remaining games. जिनमें से Scotland, Namibia तो आसान है, मगर Afghanistan जो है, that game can be very tricky. और अगर वो जीत भी जाते हैं, they have to rely on Afghanistan to beat New Zealand, and even then, after that happens, they'll have to rely on net run rate, जो कि उनका इतना अच्छा नहीं है, और अफगानिस्तान का काफी ज्यादा अच्छा है. So let's see where this group goes. It is very, very safe to say that India do have 1 foot in Mumbai. New Zealand, on the other hand, will take a lot of confidence from this victory. Of course, India are a top team. फिर Asian conditions में उनको हिराना, and I think they are favorites to make the semi-finals from Group 2, provided they don't lose to Afghanistan, which can happen. क्योंकि ये spin conducive wickets हैं, and Afghanistan have gotten arguably the best spin attack in this T20 World Cup. New Zealand will also take confidence from the fact that their experiment of opening the innings with Daryl Mitchell has worked. वो काफी शानदार थे इंडिया के खिलाफ. He scored a quick fire 49 from 35 deliveries, और वही main batsman थे New Zealand के in this run chase. And of course, there's always Kane Williamson. He is one of the best batsmen across formats in world cricket right now. A really, really good player of spin, one of the best. और उन्होंने भी अपना रोल अदा किया. उन्होंने आराम से एंकर की innings, scored 33 of 31 deliveries, unbeaten, played a brilliant ramp shot for 4. वो मुझे हमेशा याद रहेगी. And अच्छा है न्यूजीलैंड के लिए, उनको बहुत confidence मिलेगा given that their captain has scored runs and that they've won quite convincingly over here. On a final note, I will like to appreciate Virat Kohli. A lot of respect for him because he stood up for his teammate Mohammad Shami, who has been bashed on social media for no apparent reason, really stupid reasons. Whenever people mix religion and politics with sport, I'm not a fan of that. And all of that unjustified, unwarranted vitriol that he has faced, I don't think it should be there at all. And Virat Kohli was very right to point that out. और बड़ा important है कि कप्तान ने आकर इस चीज को address किया. कुछ लोग बोलेंगे कि बहुत देर बाद किया, but honestly I don't think that matters. The fact that he spoke up regarding that is pretty big on its own. आ जाते हैं England श्रीलंका पे, and England have continued their unbeaten run. अब 4th game on the bounce, वो जीत गए श्रीलंका के खिलाफ. 26 runs से जीते हैं, but it wasn't that straightforward at all. They were definitely tested in this game more than they have been in any other game. Sri Lanka won the toss. They put England into bat, और आते सारी श्रीलंका छा गई थी. A very good move by captain Dasun Shanaka to introduce Wanindu Hasaranga, श्रीलंका के जो ace bowler हैं, leg spinner. I think he's world class. I've said it many times. और आज फिर से आकर उन्हें कर दिखाया power play के अंदर. Or Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow, both of them failed to pick up his googly, which is one of the most deadliest deliveries in T20 international cricket right now. And then the world #1 T20 batsman David Malan was removed early on by Dushmanta Chamera. Very good delivery, jagging back in, bowled ho gaye wo. And as a result, England were reduced to 35 for 3, और अभी power play खत्म नहीं हुआ था. In fact, at the 10 over stage, England were only 47 for 3, और वहां से अगर वो 10 and over भी जाते तो सिर्फ 147 पे पहुंचते. मगर such is the character and steel in this English team that they ended up with 163 runs for the loss of 4 wickets after their 20 overs. Joss Butler, who scored a scintillating 71 of 32 deliveries in the previous game, followed up that good run of form by scoring his first ever century in a T20 international in this game. और वो पहले ऐसे मेल क्रिकेटर हो गए हैं इंग्लैंड से जिनकी तीनों फॉर्मेट्स में अब सेंचुरीज हैं. And this innings was different. It was extremely measured. It was versatile. आते सार उन्होंने मारना नहीं शुरू कर दिया बल्कि 45 deliveries में उन्होंने अपनी 50 की and the next 51 runs came in only 22 deliveries in classic Joss Butler fashion. आखिरी डिलीवरी पे उनको 5 रन चाहिए थे, उन्होंने छक्का मार दिया, सेंचुरी कर ली. And I think this has been the best innings of this T20 World Cup thus far. और Joss Butler मेरे ख्याल से बेस्ट बैट्समैन भी लग रहे हैं अभी तक के T20 World Cup के. Circumspect थे, calculated थे अपनी risk taking के साथ, and 101 not out in 67 deliveries was indeed a match winning knock जो दुनिया याद रखेगी. The fact that he didn't go berserk from the word go और उन्हें पहले कंसोलिडेट किया फिर एंड में जाकर मारा shows that he's that good a batsman that he'll first understand the conditions और फिर उन conditions के हिसाब से उन्हें हिटिंग की. जब उन्हें पूरी तरह पिच को समझ लिया तब अपनी शॉट्स लेकर आए बाहर, and that really is a sign of a world class batsman. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say that Joss Butler is the best hitter of a white ball in world cricket, and his last 2 innings are testament to that statement. You just know it's going for 6 as soon as he connects with the ball. ये कमाल है जॉस बटलर का. Owen Morgan, the English captain, supported Butler to perfection. काफी देर से बुरी फॉर्म चल रही थी Owen Morgan की. This has been a subject of debate a lot और काफी लोग कह रहे थे कि वो सिर्फ कप्तानी के लिए ही उन्हें खिलाएं, which I agree with. But finally today he brought out an extremely important innings for England. 40 runs किए उन्होंने 36 deliveries में, only to eventually be dismissed by another Hasaranga Googly. Hasaranga again was brilliant on the day. He took 3 wickets for 21 runs in his 4 overs. And this guy is going to go a long way for Sri Lanka. In fact, 2021 में when Indu Hasaranga is now the leading wicket taker in T20 internationals and he's eclipsed Tabraiz Shamsi. तो इसी से आप अंदाजा लगा लें. अभी तक कोई as such pick नहीं कर पाया उनकी Googly, and it's the dip in his Googly. I feel that's what gets him wickets and that's what makes this delivery oh so potent. देखिए momentum जो था it was definitely with England after they finished their batting innings so strongly, and then that Butler and Morgan combo, it struck gold right away when they came out to bowl. पहले ओवर में these two combined to run out the in-form Pathum Nissanka. फिर हमने आज आदिल रशीद को बोल करते हुए देखा पावर प्ले में. He's been amazing in this T20 World Cup. और फिर से उन्होंने 2 विकेटें निकाल ली जल्दी ही, removing the experienced Kusal Pereira and the impressive Charith Asalanka for 21, eventually ending up with figures of 2 for 19 in 4 overs. Soon after, Avishka Fernando was also removed by Chris Jordan. उनको LBW कर लिया और फिर भानुका राजापक्षा ने थोड़ी फाइट दिखाई. He scored 26 of 18, मगर वो भी फिर आउट हो गए क्रिस वोक्स की डिलीवरी पे. And this left Sri Lanka reeling at 5 for 76. At this point मुझे लग रहा था कि बस England's going to run away with the game, but then Sri Lanka fought really hard. They clawed their way back into the game. Of course, dew was a big factor, and England also lost their express pace bowler Timil Mills to injury. So here's to hoping that Timil Mills recovers just in time for England's next game. ना भी किए तो मेरे ख्याल से मार्क वुड काफी लाइक फॉर लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट है, वो आ जाएंगे उनकी जगह. अब जो कप्तान थे श्रीलंका के दासुन शानका, him and Hasaranga, once again this guy, there's nothing he can't do really. bowling ये करा लेते हैं, फील्डिंग ये कर लेते हैं, बैटिंग भी कर लेते हैं ये. इन दोनों की पार्टनरशिप लगी बड़ी जबरदस्त किस्म की, एंड दे टाइम दिस चेस टू परफेक्शन रियली, क्योंकि एक पॉइंट पे श्रीलंका ओनली नीडेड 35 रन्स इन 20 डिलीवरीज टू विन द गेम, और अभी 5 विकेट्स इन हैंड भी थी. बट दैट्स व्हेन द गेम टोटली टर्न्ड ऑन इट्स हेड. जो टर्निंग पॉइंट था ना गेम का, इट वाज दैट जेसन रॉय एफर्ट इन द फील्ड. बाउंड्री लाइन पे इट वाज एन अनरियल एफर्ट रियली. पता नहीं किस तरह उन्होंने बाउंड्री लाइन को टच नहीं किया. Somehow he managed to hold on to the ball and avoid the boundary line, and then he scooped it back up for Sam Billings to complete one of the best catches that we've seen all tournament. And like I said, that catch was the turning point of the game, because after that England were brilliant in the field, and I'd say fielding ultimately won them the game. Fauran baad hi uske Butler once again he ran out Dasun Shanaka, who scored 26 of 25, और काफी amazing solo effort थी ये Butler की, and you know जितनी भी इनकी तारीफ की जाए कम है. Thereafter Moeen Ali and Chris Jordan made quick work of the Sri Lankan tail, largely aided by England's boundary line fielders who took some splendid catches. बहुत composed रहे वो और बिल्कुल भी घबराए हुए नहीं दिखे. And as a result, England have continued their unbeaten run in this T20 World Cup. Now, England definitely looked the part in this T20 World Cup, and they look like solid contenders to actually go and win the whole thing. They are sure to top their group. Group 1 में definitely England ही number 1 पे finish करेगी. And I think Pakistan and England, ये सबसे 2 strong teams लग रही हैं इस tournament में, and a lot of people are predicting a Pakistan versus England final. And you know, this sort of victory will give England a lot of confidence going forward into this T20 World Cup, because they had their backs against the wall and they dug themselves out of a hole on 2 occasions. once with the bat and once in the field. On top of which dewy conditions थी, बहुत मुश्किल था यहाँ टारगेट डिफेंड करना, तो उससे भी उनको बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा. और फिर उन्हें ऐसी परफॉर्मेंस दी कि इन दीज ड्यूवी कंडीशंस जहाँ पे चेस करना वैसे ही आसान हो जाता है, they bowled Sri Lanka out in 19 overs. आखिरी ओवर तक गेम भी नहीं गई eventually. Sri Lanka are unfortunately out of the T20 World Cup now. और जो ठीकशन और हसरंगा की पार्टनरशिप थी, स्पिन बॉलिंग पार्टनरशिप, that was really wonderful to watch. और यहां तक उनको वो लेकर आई और बहुत compete भी किया इन दोनों ने. आज भी ठीकशना only gave away 13 runs in his 4 overs और हसरंगा की तो मैं पहले ही बात कर चुका हूं. But that simply wasn't enough and they simply didn't receive enough support from their batters and also their pace bowlers. Kumara और Chamira, they looked really, really good against weaker opposition, but when it came to facing the tougher opponents, उनसे भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. Let's talk about the last game. अफगानिस्तान ने बुरी तरह हराया नामीबिया को. अपनी रन रेट उन्होंने और बेहतर कर ली. मोहम्मद नबी won the toss and he elected to bat again. और अफगानिस्तान अकेली टीम है इस पूरे टूर्नामेंट में who continues to follow that bat first template because all other teams they want to chase. And you know, this strategy has served Afghanistan well against weaker opposition, but when they face New Zealand or India, I don't know if this will work. पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ तो नहीं चली ये strategy. Namibia were of course weaker than Afghanistan in all 3 departments of the game. और जब अफगानिस्तान के ओपनर्स बैट करने आए, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा एक प्लेटफॉर्म सेट कर दिया. हजरतुल्लाह ज़ज़ई, PSL hero, he scored 33 of 27, and then the experienced wicketkeeper batsman Mohammad Shehzad, he top scored with 45 of 33 deliveries. And then Asghar Afghan, who was playing his last game for Afghanistan, of course former captain, he scored 31 of 23 deliveries. और इन्हें मिड टूर्नामेंट रिटायरमेंट दे दिए, थोड़ा मुझे स्ट्रेंज लगा. आई डोंट रियली नो व्हाट्स गॉन ऑन इन द ड्रेसिंग रूम व्हिच हैज स्पर्ड दिस डिसीजन, बट आई फाउंड इट रियली स्ट्रेंज. बट खैर, उससे हमें क्या ताल्लुक. Ultimately, he's played 16 years of cricket top level पे, तब से खेलते आ रहे हैं when Afghanistan was a non-entity in the cricketing world. और इनके ही दौर में अफगानिस्तान यहाँ तक पहुंची है. So I think his career should be celebrated और उनको बहुत बहुत मुबारक. Congratulations on a wonderful career, Asghar Afghan, and best of luck to you for your second innings. Partner किया Asghar Afghan को मोहम्मद नबी ने, जो कैप्टन अफगानिस्तान के, and he scored a quick fire 32 of 17 deliveries, and this took Afghanistan's total to a formidable 160 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs. And even though Afghanistan were actually missing Mujibur Rahman in their bowling lineup due to injury, Namibia's batting order was absolutely obliterated. Rashid Khan once again was a star performer, only gave away 14 runs in his 4 overs and took a wicket. And Gulbadin Naib, the all-rounder and medium pacer, जिनको मोहम्मद नबी ने बॉल ही नहीं दी थी पिछले मैच में, he actually came good. He only gave away 19 runs in his 4 overs and he took 2 wickets. That said, it was the seamers who impressed the most for Afghanistan in this game. Hamid Hassan ने comeback किया अपना लाइनअप में. बहुत experienced bowler है अफगानिस्तान के लिए. वो भी असगर अफगान की तरह शुरू से खेलते आ रहे हैं इस टीम के लिए. And he returned fantastic figures. 3 wickets for 9 runs in his 4 overs. उनके साथ साथ जो young fast bowling talent है अफगानिस्तान के नवीन उल हक, who Leicestershire have snapped up actually in the English county circuit, उनने भी 3 wickets ली for 26 runs in his 4 overs in a man of the match performance. उनकी wickets इसलिए भी ज्यादा crucial थी because he struck right at the top. तो टॉप ऑर्डर को जब उन्हें एलिमिनेट कर दिया तो उसके आगे जो टास्क था, it became considerably easy for Afghanistan. अब अफगानिस्तान के लिए इक्वेशन बहुत ज्यादा सिंपल है. In order to advance to the semi-finals, which I think they do have somewhat of a shot to do, they need to beat New Zealand, क्योंकि उनको न्यूजीलैंड को रोकना है 4 wins तक जाने से. और इंडिया से बेशक वो हार जाएं, it is that New Zealand game that they really need to win, and they are very much capable of winning that game. It will be a battle between New Zealand's batsmen and Afghanistan's spinners, और जो भी वो बैटल जीत गया मेरे ख्याल से मैच ले जाएगा. Of course, if they lose to India and win against New Zealand, run rate will come into play, और net run rate तो उनका बहुत अच्छा जा रहा है. It's the best between all 3 teams. So if that actually happens, अगर 3-way split हो जाता है for the second position, I think Afghanistan will find themselves in good stead. But obviously, this largely depends on how convincingly India and New Zealand can beat both the associate nations, Scotland and Namibia. That's a wrap for volume 69, folks. As always, if you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon in order to be notified about all of my latest videos. Also, let me know which 4 teams do you think will progress to the semi-finals in the comment section below. I'll catch you after tomorrow's games. That's all for now. Qazi off the mic.
Have a look at that. Smiles up. Oh, it's nearly taken someone out of the stands. That was a flat 6 right under the stand there, the George Giffen stand, up into the members, and it went like